Hey guys, Chris here from Dad on Demand, and in this video I'm going to review and show you how to install this GE Pro digital attic mount antenna. Then we're going to take a look at the channels that we're going to get so you can see what that's going to look like and if it's going to work for you. It is compatible with HD, of course, Ultra HD as well as 4K. You can also install this antenna outdoors if you want on the side of your house, but that's pretty much the same process we're going to do today. I'm going to be installing it in my attic so that it's protected from the elements, and hopefully that's going to make it last a little bit longer and won't be an eyesore on the side of the house. So that's what I chose. You can do either one. I recently canceled my cable TV subscription because what I found is that we were watching, probably 90% of what we were watching was either local channels that I could get for free with an antenna like this one, or Netflix shows like you see behind me. So I decided to just eliminate that expense and go with these two options. Now, this antenna cost me about $40 on Amazon, and if you're just going to connect it to one TV, then that's all you're going to need, along with an appropriate size cable, coax cable, that's going to reach from the attic to the TV that you're going to connect it to, and then of course anything additional from there. If you're going to connect it to multiple TVs, then you're going to need a splitter, and I recommend getting an amplified splitter so you don't get any signal loss. I'm going to connect it to 4 TVs, and there seemed to be a lot of confusion in the reviews and the questions on the listing on Amazon about how many you could connect to this without amplifying the signal. So I went ahead and purchased this amplified splitter as well, so I wouldn't have any issues with a poor signal. Now they have an 8-port and a 4-port version. The 4-port was about 40 bucks and the 8-port was almost 60 bucks. So I went with the 8-port in case I want to add additional TVs to it down the road. So all in all, I was around $110 with the attic antenna, this amplified splitter, and the cable, but I'm going to save $100 a month. So it's going to pay for itself in the first month. Now, I'm going to leave links below for all 3 of these. Now, before you buy any antenna, if you haven't done this already, you need to make sure that it's going to work for your home. This particular one has a 70-mile range, so you need to make sure if you go with this one that your home is located within 70 miles of a TV transmitting tower. If not, you're going to need a different one. Now, fortunately, there's a website with a free tool where you can check that. So let's jump over to that site and I'll show you how. Okay, so here is the website that you're going to use. It's called antennasdirect.com, and like I said, I will put a link to this in the description. And basically on their page here, there is a transmitter locator, and all you have to do is put in your zip code, and it pulls up this little map and it tells you where your towers are. So this little graph in the middle, it has a legend down here. So in the middle is a 35-mile radius, the yellow is a 50, and the pink towards the edge is a 70. So if you have towers within this range, this all the way out here to the pink, then you are good with the antenna that we recommended at 70 miles. If it's more than that, then they do make 150 mile antennas. But one thing that's really important here is you want to make sure, hopefully, that you have a VHF and a UHF transmitter within your area, and I'll show you what that looks like here in just a minute as far as channels. But when you look at each one, you can click on it. So as you can see here, this one is a UHF tower, and then this is also a UHF tower here, but the other one behind it here is a VHF tower. So I have a VHF and we have a UHF, so we are good to go. And then if you scroll to the bottom, it's going to show you what you get. Like, these are all the channels that you can get. And then if you see right here where it says band, these are the channels you get with your UHF tower. And then these are the ones you get with the VHF tower. So if you only have one tower in range, you can kind of look at the channels that you get, and then you can decide from there if it's worth, setting up an antenna for that. Hopefully you have both, and in most cases you will have both. So that's it. Like I said, I'll leave the link to that, and you can just jump in here, put your zip code in, and find out if those towers are in your area. Then you can choose an antenna from there. Okay, so now that we know that this one is going to work, here's what it looks like when it arrives. As you can see, it's in a bunch of pieces, and I'm not going to go through how to put this thing together. Just use the link that I provided below in the description, because on the Amazon listing, there's a really helpful 2-minute video that shows you how to put it together. I'm going to show you that right here. and it's much better than anything I could create. So just watch that first, and that's what I'm going to use right now to put this thing together. And I will see you in the attic where we're going to figure out where to mount it. But before I do that, if you think this video is helpful, please hit that button below, the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. It really helps us out, and that's also how we're able to keep putting out free videos like this. So if you'll do that, I will see you in the attic. Okay, so we got this thing put together. Just for the record, took me about 40 to 45 minutes, so kind of plan on that. You may get done a little sooner, maybe take you a little longer, who knows, but that's about how long it took me to put this together. Not too difficult. So now what we're going to do is we're going to find a spot to mount this on, but I am not going to permanently mount it yet. Now for this part, it really helps if you have a second person, because what I've done is I've went ahead and I've run the cord from where I'm going to be attaching this inside the house, which we'll get to in a moment, to the antenna. So I have that cable laying on the floor over there. It took me a little while to get that done. I had to crawl all the way through the other side of the attic, just about pulled a Clark Griswold stepping through the roof. Anyway, it is all done and we're ready to go now. So right here, this is the only thing that you have to connect, and that just goes to the signal. And once again, if you're only hooking this to one TV, then you can just run that cable straight to the TV you're hooking it up to. Or if you're running it to a splitter, you can either put the splitter right next to this, or if you're using an amplified splitter, you're going to have a plug. They do plug in, so be mindful of that. If you don't have that, you may have to run another cord somewhere inside your house. And if you have a house that was probably built in the last 10 or 15 years, you may have like a smart box somewhere, either in your master bedroom or somewhere else like I do, where all the cable and internet and everything runs to one hub. And that, if you have that, then this makes things a lot easier, because you can just put the splitter, the amplified splitter, in there if you don't already have one. And then so that's all I had to do. I had to just run a cable to that box because there wasn't one running to the attic. So I'm just going to connect that cable that I ran to that splitter inside the box to this right here, and then we're going to be good to go. But before we do that, and I'll show you that in a minute, but before we do that, we're going to find a place to mount this. And what I'm going to do is I've already got all this hooked up, and so I'm going to go ahead and turn the TV on, and I got a helper down there that's going to, we're going to talk via cell phone, and I'm going to move this around to find the best signal, and then we're going to mount it. And when we get to mounting, that's where we will pick it up from there. But for now, I got to find the best signal, and we'll go from there. Okay, so crazy story. We moved this thing all over the place and took about a half hour. And crazy thing is, none of the high points were getting decent reception. The only spots that were doing it were right here, as you can see, which is right up near the edge of the house. And that's just how it went. So what I'm going to do, I am going to just secure it to the bottom of the floor here, which is plywood. They do come with these lag screws. Let me show you those. Whoops. They come with 4, so if you do have to mount it on the side up here on one of the 2x4s, it's not a problem at all. So in our case, like I said, crazy thing was that was the only spot that it worked, and it works perfect. So I'm going to go downstairs now. I'm going to show you the box, the little hub where I put the amplified splitter in, and then we'll show you the TV and we'll be all done. Okay, so here we are in the control panel or hub, and here is the amplified splitter that I was telling you about. I have mounted it here. It's very, very simple. I've mounted it to the panel here, but the RF in here, that is your actual signal that's coming from the antenna. So this is the cable you're going to run to the antenna. And just a little I guess pro tip for you, if you have something like this where you have a lot of these wires, most of these are all white, blue, and yellow, it helps if you purchase a cable, run a cable that's a different color. Just makes it a little bit easier, so you know, okay, that's my signal cable. So anyway, just a little tip there. And then over here on the left, this is your power cord. Now this is a coax cable, but on the other end of it is a DC plug-in. So That does come with it. You don't have to worry about buying that separate. So you just hook the power to this side, signal to that side, and then you just hook your TVs into here, and then you are all set. So that's really it for this. So let's move on now and let's see what our TV looks like and what channels we get. Okay, so as I was scrolling through this, there were well over 100 channels, so I'm obviously not going to go through each and every one of them, but as you can see as we scroll through here, I get all of the local channels, which is great because we watch a lot of sports, and it is NFL playoffs this weekend, so that's really cool. And then there's also a lot of other things. There's crime shows, you know, mystery channels, there's a lot of movie channels, both newer and older movies as we go through here, and there's also some home improvement channels, and anyway, there's just a lot of stuff that I really had no idea that you could actually get with an antenna. A lot of this stuff I didn't think you could get, so it was a very pleasant surprise. I'm really excited about it. So that's it for this review. Hey, I appreciate you watching, and once again, if you enjoyed this video, please take a moment down below, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and once again, like I said, all the links to everything I used are in the description below. Feel free to check those out, and Dad on Demand here, I will see you in the next video.